Okay, we're trying this again so that I can stitch these together and have one video. Um, I was talking about being a homeschool entrepreneur. I have already introduced myself. I've already talked about where to begin, and I was in the middle of talking about where to find the time. I talked about how I used to leave the house immediately after my husband got home, 2 nights a week. He was at a job that at the time he was able to take off 1 day a month for me to have a personal day. Sometimes I would just read a book, but a lot of times I would write on my blog and do things that I guess could be considered work, though at the time I was simply starting out on Blogger writing a blog. There was a time my kids went to bed at 7 p.m. So I could use that time. My husband and I would alternate who kind of was in charge of bedtime. And if he was, then I could pretty much get started right at 7 or 7:30, and I could have the evenings to work. I didn't do that every evening, but a lot of times that's what I enjoyed doing in my free time is I enjoyed writing. So I would get on my website and write. Um, Another big one as my kids got older and were involved in evening activities is that when someone had to drive someone, when there were chauffeur responsibilities, instead of driving, dropping that child off and coming back home, we would agree ahead of time that I could stay out and work while that child was at their event. So at the time when I was teaching at Brave Writer and I was teaching the online book club, I had a daughter who was in gymnastics 3 days a week. 2 of those nights, I would take her to the gym and she was there for 3 hours, and I would either stay and work or I would